It's gonna be a good one.
It's gonna be a good one.
Definitely a different type of process.
Cut down or freeze up.
Being a coach's son.
Jackson, of course, they keep retooling. One stolen base, a hit by pitch. Oh my
goodness. Let's go. Well, I guess welcome to the Ballpark edition of the Idiot Zone podcast. This is where we're going to just crush a few topics today. Brian is down in Ozark. I am out at the W.A.C. We are having a little bit of fun out here. We just started to get rained on, so this is the first time actually we've had any kind of bad weather down here. But anywho, Brian, thank you for jumping in for a few minutes to talk a little bit of baseball. And make sure we're Game 7 Baseball, Game7Baseball.com. We're out here at the state tournament for Game 7. Prime Sports Midwest with now 3 locations, one in Chesterfield, one in St. Charles County, and obviously one down in Fenton, which is the original location. Brian, how you doing, buddy?
Man, we're having a lot of fun out here. We've seen some good baseball. Check it out, bro. Chillicothe took down Tolton and Logan Rogersville. State champs.
Wow, let's go Chillicothe. It's been a long time. They used to have a team out there, like a men's team, a college team. They might still have them. I think they used the Mudcats for a while. But anyway, congratulations to Chillicothe. I saw a video about them, high school stuff, and man, that was a pretty good team. So
yeah,
that's off to Chillicothe. Are they? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
How's the weather down there? Are they getting in Class 5 and Class 6 on time?
No. We're just starting at noon. The booming and cracking came through this morning, and what are you going to do? And I know people are going to see this later in the afternoon, so we're talking here because we're recording this, and because we're getting ready to go live at noon with our report on these teams, and Deani and Marshfield are on the field right now warming up. You guys are at the W.A.C. Talk to me about something here. We talk about crushing topics. One of the things we've talked about a lot, body language. And as much as we see that at the youth level, it's translating here. I saw it last night in a couple things, and it translates into the play at times, and you're like, come on, man, you got to pick that up.
Yeah, that's actually something I wanted to talk about just in general, just something that we just went through this game. Like, we took an L in our first game today, but we started out making 2 mistakes right away. Led the bases loaded with nobody out. We scratch out. We give up 2 runs, but we have bases loaded with nobody out, and you walk away from that inning. You think you're you get kind of excited. Want to get off the field, and it's like some people are frustrated. I'm like, listen, nobody wants to make mistakes. We 100% understand this. Like, but what is the end goal? And if you continue to just suffer this thing that you're creating in your own head, because it's not something else the coaches are creating. It's not something that the parents are creating. It's this internal thing, right? And sure, we want to win, we want to compete, we want to play well, we don't want to make mistakes, but if you can't embrace those things, and it's going to eat you alive, whether it's baseball, another sport, or life, we're full of them. And I just think if the kids would take a little bit of opportunities to give themselves some grace, and understand that mistakes actually fuel success, and we need to try to approach that very differently, I think, as coaches.
And here's where I think the language needs to change. Mistakes don't fuel success. Mistakes are a learning opportunity. What fuels success is the ability to learn from mistakes. That's where I think the body language, the issues, what you're talking about, Mitch, they're not taking that opportunity to overcome those issues and become successful. Does it make sense?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's a underlying series of events that have to happen. You know, I gave you a broad statement. There's a whole lot in between that. You know, but and we can talk about that probably for a whole month. You know, every day, all day, because it just you have to embrace this game for what it's worth. It is such a frustrating game. You know, I will say sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. And you know what I mean by that is things like 50-50 plays. Why do they go against the team and, you know, one team, but they always favor another? Or why do we always feel like something goes against us in a particular way? I sometimes feel like we should earn our luck. And I think the way that you earn that luck is by playing at max effort 100% of the time, and when you're struggling, whether it's maybe a cold or something, you're dealing with some allergies and illness, you give me 100% of what you have, and that's the
Right.
victory. You know, at the
Yeah.
end of the day, because that I think will ultimately translate into your game, right?
Right.
So when you give me you're sad about something, you give me about 40% effort. Well, it only gets worse. It never gets better. I've never seen somebody at anything, whether other sports, life, teachers, you name it, if you take your bad day into any other kind of situation, it's going to get worse. The mind is super powerful. And I remember when I first started with you, the mind or the body follows the mind. That has stuck with me because of the power that holds.
Yeah.
And if your mind is weak, your body's weak. It means your actions are weak. It means your throws are weak. It means your hitting's weak. You know, all of that becomes a problem if your mind is weak. And so I don't know if that's what you meant by it necessarily, but that's what I perceived it as.
Well, absolutely. You know, because the body follows the mind. You can be as strong as you want to be. You can be mechanically sound as you want to be. But if you don't have it together here and able to apply information to that physicality, it doesn't work. I don't care.
It doesn't work.
This is why we talk about talent. You know, at some point, if talent doesn't match some ability here, it won't work. It just doesn't. And this is what most of
Especially
the
at the level
kids,
that you're at.
yeah. And this is what most of our youth baseball, or I should say elementary, middle school, we need to spend more time in that aspect. Um, Training, putting those things. Look, play a tournament, take a weekend off. Play a tournament, take a weekend off, so you can get the rest. These are kids. They get tired. They're not as physically strong. I don't think you should. There's no reason to take away tournament baseball, but do you get away? Do you get an opportunity to talk to the kids about the mistakes? Do you get enough time to train in between a tournament to say, hey, here's the list. These are the things we talked about. Let's work on these things this week, and then we'll head back to playing some ball.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, like a phone ball. I don't know if you guys caught that or not in the background.
I heard it.
Yeah, I'm under the set. There's a lot of stuff going on with the rain coming, but we have a 10 team that's playing across from us in the first game. I'm not going to obviously say the teams. There's a coach screaming and hollering. And you know, this is a young game. And I'm not saying this is a negative scream and holler, but it was where to throw the ball. And you have like a coach hollering what to do with it. You have parents hollering what to do with it. You have an assistant coach yelling what to do with it. I swear this kid stood there for about 30 seconds, turning circles with the ball up in the air, not knowing what to do because everybody was yelling something. I'm going back to INU next year and coaching baseball, which is going to be a challenge for me. And most people know that I have a particular brand of baseball I like to play. I know that's not going to happen. I got to bring the fun and joy back into the game for myself and the league. I want to have consistent stand rate. I want to be able to let these kids throw the ball in the wrong direction and then have that conversation. because what I'm seeing is even in the moment you have these conversations, it may not be a direct impact now. It could be a month down the road. It could be a year down the road. But all of a sudden, one day it'll click, and it's
Yeah.
it's the most gratifying thing as a coach. But when it happens for the player, it sinks in 10 times more if a player can adjust of their mistakes than it is the coaches continuing to tell them to do the same thing. And this is what bothers me about our one-on-one instruction. Of course, I am not taking anything away from anybody who's an instructor because we have some great ones that are on the show. I do it myself. The one-on-one piece is at a young age, I'm talking about specific middle or grade school, middle school, they rely on you telling them what to do.
Yeah.
And so when they get 14, they have no idea how to play the game unless you tell them how to play it. I'm actually really sick of watching that brand of baseball. And I agree with you. And a lot of this, I think that's a lot of the driver for maybe some of the bad body language.
It is, because you know it as well as I do. These kids don't want to fail. They're not trying to fail. And that's always the thing with me. Oh, yeah, I wanted to boot that ball. I wanted to boot the grounder. I wanted to drop the fly ball. I wanted to turn around and have everybody screaming at me, and I'm looking like a fool, not knowing where to throw the baseball. Nobody, there isn't a player out there at whatever level that wants that. So, creating a better environment, talking about these things, putting these things, are there going to be people that agree with us? Probably not. Are there going to be opportunities to create some of these things? Yeah, if we are willing to put that in. We talk about development. These are the things that begin to change the culture. And if we don't change the culture, we're going to continue to see the same things. We're going to still have the parents going, "My son should be playing." Hey, look, uh, if you don't know or understand where the talent level of your player is, I can't help you with that. You got to be realistic.
Yep, and it's going to create a bad brand of baseball. And we're in a really, really good space with, our high school levels. And as you're seeing, Central Missouri is in the D2 World Series, and Maryville is building new projects. UMSL's good. You have all these schools in our state that are producing good college programs too. And it's like, man, what are we going to do if we're going to have this bad body language? How are you recruitable? How are you going to get to these schools? And what's the next level? What's the major leagues like? And you know, we see it all the time in the GACs. We see a kid with a bad attitude. He'll go to college, come back, he'll be a new man.
Yeah.
I've been trying to tell you for 4 years, you cannot act like this. And I think it's foolish, to be quite honest with you. And I sometimes wonder, like, the biggest thing for me is, where does it come from? And why is it allowed? Is it that we losing respect? I sometimes dig a little too deep and get arrogant with it. I think one of the best things for me to do is sometimes just understand that I can't control some things, but I can control what my dugout does. I can't control what your rides are, your car home or your car rides home, your household. I'm not trying to be a parent. My goal is to make these kids confident, and I personally think that part of the struggle is you practice 2 times a week and think you're supposed to be great, and it doesn't work that way. I talked about this with you yesterday. Training has got to be a focus of importance for these kids outside of just their 2 times a week and the games on the weekend. You can't be tired. So what? So what? Get to work on Monday. Get your flexibility going. What did you miss? Okay, you had a bad day at the yard. Go watch just a little bit. I'm talking a little bit of baseball on TV. The college playoffs are going on. If you're not doing that, I can't put much stock into you. Your coach cannot have more desires than another player.
We're going to keep these conversations going. Next week, we're going to be back in studio. Mitch is at the ballpark. We're at the ballpark. It's a great day. We'll see what kicks more kicks more rocks down the road as we continue to talk about this, right, Mitch?
Absolutely.
And I say
Brian,
rocks,
I
not
appreciate
cans.
Well, whatever. It could be anything. I used to kick newspapers.
You know
I
why?
used to
Because
throw them in my
rocks
neighbor's-
hurt.
Well, I learned it's sort of crab apples, and that's the reason why I don't have one in my yard anymore, because I may have made some choices with those crab apples that I'm not going to talk about because I don't want to influence any young people. But yeah, I've had the Overland Police Department at my house a few times because of those crab apples. So
There you go, man.
hey, listen, I love this game a lot. Let's talk about it. I'll forever try to impact our youth. This is why I love being on this show with you, and our supporters, Game 7 Baseball, Youth Baseball Midwest, and make sure that you go to YouTube, type that in, give us a follow, get us a dinner, because you know that's what we like to do around here is crush baseball, crush topics, and then crush pitchers' dreams. So shout out to Prime Sports, and Brian, I know that you're trying to send off so you can get ready for your stuff, but have a great day down there, and you get a chance to watch some great baseball.
Hey, let your team know for us. Make sure they hit them where they ain't.
Got it, buddy. We're going to get after it.
All right, bud. Take care.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.